I'm not asking about that. Fine. I'm asking about all the other files.
What other videos? Tell me. Tell me.
That's what I'm asking.
Tell me.
You're saying there are no videos that would be relevant to anyone else involved in the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring.
Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you, that stuff.
That's all we got.
I'm not asking all you got. I'm asking you, in that stuff, there's nothing that's related to to any other sex traffic, any other people engaged with Epstein in underage sex.
That's correct. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Let's talk about the witness interviews. 302s of witness interviews. Those are not subject to the court order.
This wasn't a hearing. This was a detonation. Dan Goldman came in with one mission: expose the contradictions, the delays, and the excuses coming from Kash Patel about the Epstein files. And what unfolded was a blistering clash about transparency, accountability, and whether the government is still hiding the full truth from the American people. You're about to see why this exchange shook the entire room and why it matters far beyond just Epstein. Stay locked in.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from New York is recognized. Mr. Goldman.
Mr. Patel, does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
It's not a complicated question. Does Donald Trump appear anywhere in the Epstein files?
I didn't say it was a complicated question. I just didn't hear you, so my apologies. We have released where President Trump's name's in the Epstein files and everybody else, and all credible information that we are legally allowed to release has been released.
All right, so let's go through that. You're referring to court orders that prohibit you from releasing grand jury testimony under Rule 6E. Is that what you're referring to when you say as the law allows?
That's a piece of it.
Really? What other evidence do those three court orders you cited prohibit from being released?
Information that was collected pursuant to those search warrants that were limited
Wrong.
in fashion.
Wrong.
Okay.
That's not what the court order says, and that's not under 6E.
And you're talking, and I said that's 6E, and I said there was others, and I'm answering that. There are sealed court order documents. There are protective orders.
They are unsealed as part of discovery given to Ghislaine Maxwell. They are no longer sealed.
That's just not true. We can argue about it all you want.
Okay, well, you agree that there are, so your testimony here is that the reason why you are not releasing all of the videos that you have acknowledged, there are so many, and that the FBI spent thousands of hours of reviewing, the photographs, and the photographs that you have. You're saying that you're not releasing those because there's a court order requiring them to be sealed? Is that your testimony?
Never said that about the videos. On the totality of the videos, of the thousands of images that were seized pursuant to the search warrants executed at the time, the overwhelming majority of that video is pornographic material that was downloaded from the internet and child sexual abuse material. We will never release that.
Well, as you should not release the victims, but if there are videos that relate to others who Epstein trafficked to, such as maybe Prince Andrew, or photographs, that you have total control to release.
Yes, and if it exists.
And so why haven't you released it?
Why are you supposing that that is a fact when in fact it is false? Are you saying that
you're saying that none of the videos relate to anything relevant to the Jeffrey Epstein trafficking ring?
Every single video that we have collected pursuant to the prior search warrants has been examined for the last 10 years. And every single video has been utilized for whatever prosecutions were able to be legally brought.
I'm not asking about prosecutions. I'm asking about why you aren't releasing the full Epstein files, including the names of people who were involved in the sex ring that you promised to do before you became FBI director.
I just told you, I'm not gonna release downloaded porn of
I'm
children
not asking
on the
about
internet.
that. Fine. I'm asking about all the other files.
What other videos? Tell me. Tell me.
That's what I'm asking.
Tell me.
You're saying there are no videos that would be relevant to anyone else involved in the Jeffrey Epstein sex ring.
Pursuant to Mr. Acosta's collection of information based on the search warrants. That's all we have in our possession.
And I'm asking you, that stuff.
That's all we got.
I'm not asking all you got. I'm asking you, in that stuff, there's nothing that's related to any other sex traffic, any other people engaged with Epstein in underage sex.
That's correct. To my knowledge, no.
Okay. Let's talk about the witness interviews. 302s of witness interviews. Those are not subject to the court order. Those are not subject to any fictional sealed order for a search warrant. Why aren't you releasing those with the redacted names of the victims?
We are releasing as much as legally allowed. That's why we went back to the
How is
courts.
how is that not legally allowed?
Sir, do you know how court orders work? Do you know how protective orders
Actually,
work? Do you know how
Mr.
sealing
Patel,
orders
I was
work?
a real prosecutor for 10 years. I know exactly how
so I was a
court
fake one?
orders. And I want to understand what the court order prevents you from releasing witness statements that the FBI took.
You should know that as a real prosecutor, when the court hand downs a protective order and a motion to seal, the material is sealed unless
So
that
your
judge
testimony
waives
here
it.
is that all of those witness statements are under a court order, a protective order.
We are providing everything we can legally provide.
No, that's not my
Congress has sent
question.
us a
My
subpoena.
question is, why are those witness statements that are not grand jury testimony, that if they were under a protective order are no longer under a protective order, why are they not being released?
How are they not
And
under a protective
Why
order?
are you not going to the court like you did for the grand jury testimony to unseal those
The
records?
DOJ did go to the court.
No, not on those records. Why
Time
aren't
of
you
the
going? You
gentleman.
just went on grand jury.
Time of the gentleman has expired. The
You are hiding the Epstein files,
time
Mr.
of the
Patel.
gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
Can I respond?
You sure can.
Any allegations that I'm a part of a cover-up to protect child sexual trafficking and victims of human trafficking and sexual crimes is patently and categorically false in the work of my
So I hope you will talk to them when they
Gentlemen's
have
time has
requested
expired.
to speak with you. Because
Gentlemen's
the
time has
victims
expired.
have
Gentleman
requested
yields
and you are
back.
not responding to them.
Director, yes or no? Is the
What you just witnessed was not two people disagreeing. This was a breakdown in trust, the collision of a Congress demanding transparency and an official whose answers raise even more questions. Dan Goldman didn't walk into that hearing casually. He walked in with the precision of someone who understands the investigative process and knows exactly when an answer is evaded. And that's why this moment is so significant. When Goldman pressed Patel on whether Donald Trump appears in the Epstein files, you immediately saw Patel shift into defensive mode. Not because the question was complicated, but because the implications are enormous. If the files contain politically inconvenient names, and those files are not being fully released, then the public is being denied the truth about one of the most notorious criminal networks in modern history. Goldman's entire line of questioning was built around one idea. If you claim transparency, you need to show your work. And that's where Patel's testimony becomes shaky. Court orders do not blanket cover all files. Protective orders don't last forever. And witness interviews, the 302s, are among the most vital documents for understanding who was involved, who knew what, and who participated in Epstein's system. When Goldman pointed out that these are not covered under grand jury rules and are not automatically sealed, Patel couldn't give a straight explanation. Instead, what we got were fragments, broad claims, and circular answers. And that's why Goldman's frustration was boiling over. It wasn't personal, it was structural. If the government wants to restore trust, transparency has to be real, consistent, and complete. Here's where it matters for the public. Epstein's case isn't just about individual crimes. It's about power. It's about who gets protected, who gets exposed, and who gets accountability. When evidence remains locked away, the public begins to assume the worst, that the system shields certain people based on status, wealth, or political relevance. And every time an official hesitates, pivots, or speaks in broad generalities, it reinforces that distrust. This hearing also shows the broader pattern of how institutions handle politically sensitive scandals. When information threatens the reputations of influential people, the system slows down. Explanations become vague, release timelines stretch, and hearings like this, with raised voices, interruptions, and accusations, expose the strain between public expectation and institutional control. Goldman's final line, accusing Patel of hiding the Epstein files, isn't just rhetoric. It's a direct reflection of the national frustration surrounding this entire case. Victims are still seeking accountability. The public still wants the full truth. And Congress is running out of patience for evasive answers. Left Lens viewers should pay close attention to this exchange because it reveals something deeper than a political fight. It shows how transparency is often treated as optional depending on who stands to be implicated. And that is exactly why investigative oversight exists and why moments like this matter. If we want a justice system worthy of trust, these files must be handled with honesty, not hesitation. And hearings like this are one of the few places where accountability can still be forced into the light. If you want more breakdowns like this, deep, contextual, cutting through the noise, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. This is Left Lens, where we don't just replay the moment, we bring you the meaning behind it.